In sociology, culture is considered a system of meanings, symbols, and behavioral patterns that shapes social life and guides individual actions. Culture is not static but a dynamic process, continuously reproduced through everyday interactions, social institutions, and collective experiences. Cultural differences. From a sociological perspective, cultural differences are the product of a society's history, economic structure, power relations, and social experiences. These differences manifest in language, lifestyle, values, educational patterns, family structures, and even in perceptions of concepts like justice, freedom, and ethics. A society that enjoys cultural diversity, if mechanisms for cohesion and dialogue exist, has greater capacity for creativity, problem-solving, and social development. Conversely, a lack of mutual understanding can turn these differences into sources of conflict. Examples. Communication style. In some cultures, such as Japan, respect and formal distance are highly valued, while in Mediterranean countries, warmth and physical contact are more common. Family roles. In Iran, extended families still play a central role in individuals' lives, whereas in many Western countries, individualism prevails and young people become independent earlier. Social ceremonies. For example, the way weddings are celebrated in Kurdistan, southern Iran, or northern regions differ significantly, with each reflecting its own cultural symbols. Cultural bias. Bias in sociology is often linked to concepts such as ethnocentrism, that is, the tendency to view one's own culture as superior and natural, while ignoring or devaluing other cultures. Cultural bias can lead to rigid social boundaries, reinforce stereotypes, cause exclusion, and reduce social capital. Combating bias requires increasing cultural capital, promoting intercultural literacy, and providing real opportunities for interaction among different groups. Examples. A person who thinks, anyone who doesn't dress like us is rude or backward, is displaying ethnocentrism. Some societies look down on regional accents or local languages, which can lead to linguistic discrimination and reduced social trust. Pride in urban culture over rural culture is a common example of bias in transitioning societies. Values. Values in sociology are shared standards that give meaning to behaviors and define what is right and wrong. Values form the foundation of collective identity but are influenced by economic structures, technological changes, media, and power relations. Sometimes, changes in values become sources of tension, especially when social groups hold conflicting views on moral issues, lifestyles, or gender roles. Examples. Hard work. While important in many cultures, this value may be replaced in younger generations by values like creativity or independence. Family values. Older generations in Iran valued early marriage and having children, whereas the younger generation focuses more on education, career, and personal independence. Order and punctuality. In societies like Germany, punctuality is highly valued, but in other cultures, there is less emphasis on strict time management. Generational change. Generational change is a key phenomenon in cultural analysis. Each generation grows up in different historical conditions and therefore has its own set of values, sensitivities, and lifestyle patterns. The gap between generations usually results from the pace of social change, especially in the digital age, and differences in lived experience. From a sociological perspective, this gap is not necessarily a threat. Rather, it can be an opportunity to reconsider cultural patterns and adapt to new conditions, provided there is dialogue, acceptance, and mutual respect. Examples. Parents versus Internet generation. Parents who grew up before the internet and smartphones prioritize face-to-face communication, while the younger generation is accustomed to virtual communication. Attitudes toward work. Older generations value job stability, whereas the younger generation seeks flexible jobs that allow creativity and personal growth. Attitudes toward individual freedoms. Younger generations may demand more freedom in clothing, education, or lifestyle choices, while older generations adhere more to traditional norms. Summary. In summary, culture is a dynamic and multi-layered domain where differences, biases, values, and generational changes are interconnected. A society that can manage cultural diversity, reduce bias, strengthen shared values, and view generational differences as a source of innovation will enjoy greater cohesion, vitality, and capacity for development.